Welcome back to That Dad Guy. It's April the 16th, 2023, and today's Sunday. So it's the day that I write my postcards, and I generally show you what cards I've selected, hoping that I've selected the right ones. I've got 3 official ones that I can write today, so I've picked postcards for those, and I've got some direct swaps and friend mail to do as well, so I'm going to show you which ones I have for that as well. Let's get started with the official ones. The first one I have is going to the United States. I'm going to California. She says she's an American high school student from China who just started trying to send postcards. She's 17 years old. She likes playing the bass and writing letters to pen pals everywhere. He likes to know everyone's different experiences and recent troubles. She has a cat named Luna, and she's happy and grateful for every postcard. If you don't know what to write on a postcard, you can write what you do usually like to do, what's your favorite movie or music, and as she's a graduate and going on to college soon but hasn't picked out her major, you can recommend a major. Maybe she'll consider it. Well, I don't know enough about her to recommend what she do the rest of her life and what she studies. I mean, I could tell her that I studied history and political science when I was in university. Whether that's even something that interests her, who knows? But I'm sure she'll make the right decision on what she wants to do. And at 17, you got lots of time to decide on your future. Anyways, I've picked this card out. Seize the days, because that's what she's going to end up doing when she graduates. She's going to find what's right for her, what interests her, and make the most of it, I'm sure. And where this is the East Coast, we got some lobster traps here. It's a card from Nova Scotia. Even though I'm in New Brunswick, it's the East Coast anyways. So hopefully that finds her well. The next card I have is going to Germany. He starts by giving you some advice. He says, make sure you write your post-crossing ID very clearly, and put your nickname for post-crossing on the card as well, because every month he has cards that he's got to go to the post-crossing team looking for help. I know I have had a few of those too, and the post-crossing team is great at helping find the right card that can be registered properly. But some good advice there. I always find it a little bit more difficult depending on the amount of space on the card that I've selected to put too much. By the time you put the date, you put the post-crossing ID, if you put your post-crossing handle on there as well, and then you start to write a brief message, there's not a lot of room, especially if you're into washi tape and stickers, so you got to find the right balance. But definitely write clearly. I've been using these type of pens, these Sharpie S-Gel pens. For the most part, they seem to be really good. They're great at writing, but I did have one message come back to me saying that their postcard somewhere along the way got wet and the ink ran on it. So that makes it difficult too, especially if it runs in the ID. It might make it hard to find. So for right now, I'm going to continue using those pens, but I might look to see what else is out there as an option. If you've got advice for me as options of things that you use that don't smear when you write, and also if they get wet, they don't run. So let me know. All right, what else he says is he's grown up and stayed his whole life in the town that he lives in. He has an apartment with 3 cats. He works part-time. He doesn't like traveling and all kinds of stress for running around. He hates housework, and hopefully someone will finally invent a self-cleaning house. He reads a lot. He's interested in computers and online strategy and role-playing games. And he says if someone knows the game Toontown Rewritten, he plays it too. He also loves television, mostly crime series, thrillers, horror, science fiction, like The X-Files or Sons of Anarchy, Millennium, Dead End, or Vikings. He likes wrestling. He's into heavy metal rock music or grindcore. I find that a lot with German post-crossers in their IDs. Heavy metal is very popular in Germany, probably more so than it is here in North America. What else do we have? And then he says, please write the date on your card. Very glad to receive any postcard. He's got no preference. So with that in mind, he says he likes role-playing. This is maybe not the role-playing he's looking at now if he's doing online, but Dungeons and Dragons is what I think about when I think of role-playing games, at least the original ones. So hopefully he gets the connection and he enjoys that. All right, the last official one that I have is also going to Germany. He says, hello, postcrossers. I'm from Germany, and I like to receive postcards from all around the world. City, landscape, beaches, motorcycles, rock, and blues musicians, people, impressions about your life, country, culture, things, and dance. And of course, he's a man, so he likes beautiful, sexy women. All right, well, that's very open to put that out there, but sure, that's great to know. He likes nice stamps also. If it's not a problem, put the postcard in an envelope because the better for the stamps. So I guess that means he can remove the stamps from the envelope and have them in the stamp collection, which I don't mind doing at all. He says if you're from Europe, he likes to receive Europa stamps. If you're in Brazil, new stamps of John Lennon. If you're in Hungary, the last stamp of the Locomotive GT or Hungarian rock music. If you're from the UK, Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Paul McCartney stamps are very welcome. And this year's new Iron Maiden stamps. So he's updated that recently. I'm in Canada, so I'm not in any of those places. But I do have a card like this that maybe his maleness would like. It was given to me in appreciation, I guess, along the way. But as it was a blank card, I knew it wasn't going to stay in my collection. It was going to go out. So I found a person that I think that would appreciate it, and where this is going in an envelope too, I think I can get away with sending it. Cards that are more sensual, let's say. Sometimes if you post them in the regular fashion without an envelope, they can go missing, and someone may not appreciate it along the way either, depending on people's sense and sensibilities. So I think this is the perfect person to send this to, someone that enjoys women and also wanted their card in an envelope for the stamps. So that's what we're going to do. All right, those are the officials. Let's get down to some of the friend swap direct messages, blah, 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 that are going out. First one, Experience Moncton. This one is going out to someone that may want to experience Moncton at some point. And this is the Avenir Center. This is where the home of the Moncton Wildcats Quebec Major Junior hockey team play, who are now going into the second round of the playoffs. As of today, they're up 1-0 against Halifax. So good luck to the Moncton Wildcats. Also, tomorrow, Kevin Hart will be performing there for the next 2 nights. He's an American comedian, very fantastic. I'd love to go see him, but the tickets are a little bit more than I am willing to pay. And I wouldn't want to go alone, so I got to buy 2 tickets. So unfortunately, I won't go see Kevin Hart this time around. But I do have tickets to go there at the end of May to see Jimmy Carr, who's coming to town. I love going to see comedians, and I'm glad to get a chance to see Jimmy Carr. On the back, we have city skyline there that's changing currently. We're getting a few more taller buildings being built downtown, so it's nice to see the growth of the city. All right, moving on. Niagara Falls. This is Horseshoe Falls. So this is the Canadian side of the falls, and then over here you can see the American side of the falls as well. So it's a nice aerial view of Niagara Falls in Ontario. And then the Heartland, the world's largest covered bridge, or the longest covered bridge, is in Heartland, New Brunswick. We've got the New Brunswick flag and the Canadian flag, and you can see the English flag there, but it's not fluttering away. It's too bad for the shot that all 3 weren't in full flight. And then I really like this card. It says, stand up for yourself and for others. I think it's very important. Sometimes we do that. We stand up for others, whether it's supporting people around us or maybe people away that are being oppressed. Sometimes we forget to stand up for ourselves, though. We let others put us down and don't take action to help ourselves. So I think this is a very important card, that we do both, that we make sure we're aware of our self-worth and don't let others trot us down, and protect those around us that need help as well. And then we have this one here of Old Montreal, Vieux Montréal. It's a beautiful part. When you look at Canada and the architecture, you're going to see so much variety. I mean, you have the fishing villages here on the East Coast. In Quebec and Montreal, you have the very strong French influence of old architecture that's there. Moving into Ontario, you've got cottage country. You've got the big city of Toronto that's there, that's very modern. The prairies, the beautiful Rocky Mountains, the Pacific West Coast. You've got the north in the Yukon and Nunavut and Northwest Territories. So a variety of things to see all over the country. The reason I am picking Old Montreal in this case is because in about, Oh, let's look at the calendar. 2 weeks. We are heading up to Montreal. We are moving my daughter from her dorm into her new apartment that she has there, and then we're bringing her home for the summer. So very excited about that. We're very excited about seeing some friends that are up there, meeting some of her friends while we're there, and just generally a quick getaway. Speaking of a nice getaway, if you happen to be in the Rocky Mountains in Alberta and Lake Louise, Banff area, in the summertime, beautiful. In the winter, beautiful for skiing and things. The roads are a little bit more treacherous in the winter, but if you're there in the summer, fantastic spot. So if you're looking for mountain adventures and beautiful wildlife around, the Canadian Rockies are a beautiful place to go. All right, this last one that I'm sending out is the flag of Quebec, province of Quebec. So you can see the strong French influence there with the fleur-de-lis on it. And some people like to collect flags from around the world and from different provinces and different states. So that one is going out there as well. So you can see the task that I have ahead of me now is to make sure I pick up the right washi, pick up the right stickers, craft a message for the person that, although maybe brief, might give some information, and also pick up the right stamps. That's also an important part of post-crossing. Sometimes you want to get stamps that either match the card, like make a maxi card if it's possible, or if it's themed, maybe it's Easter time, so you want to put a stamp that represents Easter if your country has such a thing. Maybe the person you're sending to isn't collecting as much about the stamp, so maybe you pick a smaller stamp so you've got more room to do everything else. There's always lots of different thoughts and procedures that go into every card and how you create them. That's kind of the fun too for me anyways. I would love to have more variety of stamps to send people and to pick from. I tend to have a little bit, and I'm thankful for Lila in the Maryland. She sent me up some stamps, so now I do have a few more stamps that I can use to mail out these cards. So thank you. Special shout out to Lila for thinking about me and sending me some postage stamps that help ease the cost and make these Sunday videos even more not popular, easier to do for me, I guess, budget-wise. So thank you so much. All right, for those of you, remember, subscribe, like, comment, share with your friends. Tell others about the channel. We're growing. We want to see it continue to grow, and you guys are the most important part of this channel because you watch every video that's coming out, and you leave me comments, you encourage, so I really appreciate it. All right, have a magical week. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Bye.